Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This episode this week is going to reach beyond our four walls. And I want to take a minute and just let's be honest. We live in a world where people are waiting way too long to take their health seriously. They're waiting for the diagnosis, they're waiting for the medication, they're waiting for life to slow them down hard enough to where they actually have to finally listen to their body. And at the same time, right here in our own community, right here in Carmel, there are people that are struggling with the choice of, do we buy diapers or do we buy groceries? And that is something that should do something to us as people. It's something that should build up a tension inside of us, because health isn't just about feeling better. It's about showing up better. It's about showing up better as a parent. It's about showing up better as a spouse. It's about showing up better as a leader and as people who refuse to ignore what matters. So this April, we're going to draw a line in the sand, not with our words, but actually with our actions. So when you bring in diapers to the Premier Life, you're doing two things at once. You're meeting a real physical need in our community through the Indiana Diaper Bank, and you're opening the door for someone to finally get some answers about their health. So I want to take a minute and just show you what it looks like. For every diaper donation, someone can receive their entire first initial consultation at the Premier Life for no fee. So what does that include? That includes one-on-one time with the doctor. So let's segue for a second. There's a few things that this includes. But have you ever been to a medical doctor and they go through this extensive family history and then they almost project all of what could go wrong onto you? Well, your grandpa had this, your grandma had this, the other side of your family has this. It runs in your family. Now we know today that it's less about family history and it's more about your history. So when you say your history, you're thinking about all of the stressors that you've ever encountered from birth to wherever you sit today while you're listening to this. Every thought that's negative, what I'm saying is every emotional stressor, the traumas that you've had physically, and this could be something as big as a fall, or it could be something as small as just repetitive motions like sitting at a desk all day long, staring down at a laptop. And it's also the exposure that we get in our daily life to toxins. And there are so many, from plastics to phthalates to all of these endocrine disruptors that completely destroy our hormones. So all of this is processed through our central nervous system. And over time, it starts to create breakdown in our ability to heal, to regulate, and to adapt. So that one-on-one time with a doctor is designed to explore your history so that we can get a good idea of the exposures that you've had throughout your life and help you to find a better trajectory in your health. And again, at the Premier Life, we don't guess, we test. So that's why we use specific neurological insight scans. And I'm going to go over just a little bit about what those are. So the first scan that we do is something called the surface level EMG. And that surface level EMG is taking a total amplitude or measurement of the total energy inside of your body. So what we're really looking at is we're looking at how stressed your system internally is. And we see all different types of people. We see people that are stressed outwardly, but we see people that don't appear stressed at all, but inwardly, inside their autonomic nervous system, their body is on high alert. It is full tilt, full go mode, and they are stressed to the max and they don't even realize it. So that's what the surface EMG will show us. We also use specific thermography testing. And that thermal testing is designed with a heat study. So it's designed to take a heat map right at the base of your spine, all the way from C1 to sacrum. And the idea is to look at where the nerve roots are inflamed or irritated, because we know if there is heat that is 3 times the normal level at a specific area, we know that nerve root is inflamed. And if that nerve root is inflamed, we are sacrificing communication specifically from brain to tissue. So for example, if there is extra stress or extra heat in the upper cervical spine, what that shows is an increase or hyperdrive of vagal tonality. Now, the vagus nerve is a big receiver of information from body to brain, and the idea is if the vagus nerve is inflamed, then our brain is not getting the signals that our body is trying to send it. So with that disruption, we start to see disproportionate levels of autonomic balance, meaning that your system is stuck in fight or flight, and we see high blood pressure, and we see ADHD in kids. We see all of this, this big spike. I'm sure you all are seeing it, of POTS and PANDAS. And all of that is seemingly to do with the upper cervical spine and how the nervous system is actually able to regulate its parasympathetic tone. So this thermal scan will show us what's called, and it's a big word, I'm going to use it, it's called dysautonomia, or dysregulation in the autonomic nervous system. So how the brain is sending signals to the body and how the body is sending signals to the brain. Lastly, the technology that we use is heart rate variability. So this is a 3-minute test looking at the variability in your heart rate. And why that's important, and it's such a big cultural trend right now. Heart rate variability is a big predictor of how your nervous system is functioning at a daily basis. So again, if your sympathetics are too high and your parasympathetics are too low, you can't recover. But if your parasympathetics are driving the bus and your sympathetics are low, there's no fight left in the system. And if the system is not balanced, we are going to see breakdown in our body, and we're going to see symptomatology. So that's why we do those full neurological insight scans as part of the exam. We also do any necessary x-rays that are deemed by the doctor, because we want to see how that short-term stress has become a long-term affect. And we'll see that in our structure with malposition, misalignments. We'll also see levels of arthritis, disc degeneration, and that will show us how deeply that pattern has been ingrained, how long you've had it, and really how best we're going to go about changing it and helping your body heal from the inside out. So there are no shortcuts. There's no watered-down version during this event. It's a real process at the Premier Life, because people don't need another opinion. They don't need more information. What they need is to understand how their nervous system's actually functioning, what's going on inside their body. Because again, so many people are stuck on what I call the medical merry-go-round. They're stuck in this disease model, which is all about symptom management. If you don't have a symptom, then you don't have anything wrong. And we all know that really disease process, it builds over time. It's not something that just happens overnight. The symptom might happen overnight, but the process that creates the disease, that creates the dysfunction, that creates the sickness happen over a long period of time. And our goal at the Premier Life is we're going to yank people out of that medical merry-go-round, that symptom management system, and we're going to start to focus them on the root cause. And that is what this diaper drive is designed to do. It's designed to take down all barriers financially for people so that they can come and see what we're about at the Premier Life, so they can get a real look inside their nervous system at how their body is functioning, and they can start to get to the root cause of why their body is producing the symptoms it's producing. Now, for our Premier Life family, if you're a practice member, when you give, we give back. So the day you donate, you'll receive 15% off all supplements in our office. It's one of our biggest discounts that we offer, because this isn't just about your generosity. It's about living in alignment, and it's about taking care of your body while helping someone else take their first step. But I want you guys to hear this clearly. This is so much bigger than diapers, and it's so much bigger than discounts. This is about being the kind of person who doesn't sit on what they found here. One of my practice members, she is an amazing person. Didn't meet her until she was in her late 60s. She came to one of our events from one of our other great practice members, and she heard the information. We were doing a topic specific on cancer and really root cause of disease process in general, kind of like what we've been talking about today. And she heard that and it resonated with her, and she decided, you know what, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna have my nervous system evaluated. And we talked about this afterwards, but she was like, I had every other test done. She'd even been to Mayo, and they had looked at all of her blood work. They'd looked at all of her lab values. They did all of these different types of genetic testing. She even went to some functional med and got these deeper tests, the way that she described them, where they looked at her vitamin levels and they looked at her food allergies, and no one could figure out why she had a digestive disorder. When she came into the office, her scans were not where they needed to be. And her x-rays, instead of the spine being straight from front to back, she had a big curvature in her thoracic spine and in her lower back, which was affecting her digestion. And in a 3-month period of time, her digestive disorder that she'd had for years completely disappeared. Now, did we cure her? No, but her body, how God designed it to heal, did exactly that. It healed itself. And she wasn't the type of person that sat on information. She referred every single family member that she had, from brother and sister to cousins to nieces to nephews to grandkids. It was all across the board. And overnight, we went from taking care of the one to taking care of an entire extended family, which is the whole design of Diaper Drive. Because if you have a spouse that's not under care, they need to be under care. If you have kids that have never been checked, they absolutely need to be checked, because you never know what's inside someone's body until you either look or until it creates a symptom, which is why we try to take down all barriers twice a year, and this is one of them. So you felt the difference. I know that you guys that are listening, you've seen the change. You know what it means to start addressing the nervous system and stop chasing symptoms. So the question for you is, who in your life is still waiting? Who in your life is still waiting? Who in your life has said, I've really been meaning to do that. I've really been meaning to go in there. Who in your life is stuck in that cycle of managing symptoms and not actually healing? That's the person that I want you to think about. That's the person that I want you to refer. Bring the diapers. Think of someone that needs help. Have them call and schedule, because we are doing this the week of April 20th through the 24th. That's it. Once the appointment spaces are gone, they're gone, but we want to reach as many people as humanly possible in this community. So we want to meet the needs that are seen and unseen, because, again, guys, I want to say thank you, because this is what it looks like when a community decides to live differently. Guys, thank you so much, and let's reach more people for health and for the betterment of the kingdom.